Hey guys, John here with Mike, our wonderful visual assistant.
Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about posture and introduce you to an exercise called the body breakdown. It's a wonderful way to isolate different parts of your body that you might not necessarily think about, and it's a cool little stretch. Nice way to begin a visual block, alright? So I'm going to have Mike here demonstrate. If you don't mind a side profile here for the homies at home. We're going to a little slowly run through this body breakdown exercise and just note what happens. It's a really good example. We're going to slowly isolate the neck motion. We're going to go into shoulders. You'll see in upper back it just seems like he's bending down slower, but in reality he's really trying to isolate almost every vertebrae as it folds over itself. Then we'll go into lower back all the way through to the knees dropping to the ground. Cool? Cool, let's try it out. 5, 6, 7, 8, and head. Upper back. Lower back. Knees. And hang. And while we're hanging here, the goal is to use as little muscle as possible. It's more of a balance act. You know what I mean? So as little muscle as possibly necessary to use to hang there. Then from this position, we build it back up in exactly the same way. You ready, Mike?
I am.
Let's do it. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and legs. Lower back. Upper back. Shoulders. Head. And yeah, check it out. Really nice posture here, standing up nice and tall. His hips. A lot of you vets might remember the hips are super important, and I'm always going to focus really heavily on that. You'll notice the hips are tucked really well underneath the shoulders, right under his head. Super important. His chin's up, his chest is open, which just means the shoulders are rolled back, which you probably saw this motion. Super important to open that chest up. Take a big figure, makes the whole band look a lot better. Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
What's up, homies? In this segment, we're going to talk about initiations and the posture that you are going to start from. Cool? Cool. So go ahead and assume a nice, relaxed standby. You'll see that his feet are open in this V. We call that an open first position. Awesome? Awesome. From our posture video, you should be aware of what a nice posture looks like, but as a reminder, the hips rolled under the shoulders, which is something that you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell if you're doing unless you're kind of looking at a mirror, or if you've done it a million times and had an instructor help you out with that. That's kind of the reason we do this open first, because with your toes and heels together, it's significantly harder to achieve this posture with the hips under without creating this big arc in your back. Right? Cool. So we're standing in our open first, and we're about to take a step. What's the process for that look like? As you probably know by now, we march a straight leg roll step technique, which essentially means you keep the leg straight, and on a forward march, you roll through the foot. Cool? Straight leg, roll through the foot. Awesome. Easy peasy. The initiation for this is relatively simple. You're going to engage the core, which I'm sure you'll hear a million times over the coming summers. And that essentially means squeezing down in your lower abs and your navel region, engaging these muscles so they're both ready for shock absorption, and you're also focusing on lifting up. That's a huge thing because you'll notice when marching a straight leg technique, you're constantly either on the tip of your heel or on your platform, both of which are slightly raised, right? You don't want to have a big level change when you're marching, so you're constantly pulling up, lifting up, so it doesn't look like you're changing levels at all. while marching through. Cool? Cool. So we've got the engagement of the core. We've got our posture, we've got everything else. How do we take that first step nice and strong without telegraphing, which would be leaning into the motion, thereby limiting your ability to maintain a straight leg, without leaning over to this leg just to step down? The answer is pretty simple. You're going to engage this leg. It's going to bear the weight a fraction of a second almost before you make that step, and you're just going to let this left leg glide across the grass almost into a nice step one. Yeah?